All right, good evening, everybody. Tonight is Wednesday, December 7th, 2022. It's 6:01 p.m. This is the Town of Bluff Planning and Zoning Commission regular meeting. We're meeting virtually, and let's see, someone else just joined. Let's go ahead and begin with roll call of Planning and Zoning Commissioners. This is Amanda Podmore, acting chair.
Marcia Haydenfeld.
Malia Collins.
Ed Dobson.
All right, thanks everybody. And then from the town council.
Luann Hook.
Thanks, Luann. And town manager.
Erin Nelson.
Thank you. And then welcome to our guests and agenda presenters. So we'll drop the agenda in the chat for folks that might want to look at it. But we will begin with reviewing meeting minutes from our regular meeting on November 16th. So I'm going to go ahead and start sharing my screen if I can get that going.
Madam Chair?
Yes, go ahead.
At the bottom of page 1, is there a typo on the 2000 number? Right at the bottom there?
Bottom of page 1. No.
Good. There was on the copy I got, and I fixed it. I guess everybody else is okay with it.
Oh, yeah, it says 2000. Is that what?
Yes.
Okay.
Mine said 2,00 square feet.
Oh, okay. It says 2000. So starting at the top, thanks again, Kathleen, for these minutes. The first clarification, Marcia and I added something about the discussion about whether the the Planning and Zoning Commission could write a letter of support for a grant for a tiny house project that we had approved a land use clearance for. And so Marcia and I changed the sentence to read, since the land use clearance has already been approved, the Planning and Zoning could not officially vote on something not on the agenda. And the commissioners agreed to just have the chair write a letter saying that P&Z had approved a land use clearance for the project. Is everybody good with that change? Hearing
Yes.
nothing, I will accept those.
Yes.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you.
Actually, I'm not supposed to accept. Oh, Melissa was our editor.
Oh dear. Okay.
We'll discuss this at a later date. Who will do that job? But
Amanda, are you doing it then, or what's going on here?
yeah, I was just gonna do it as we. went
Okay,
through.
great. Thank you. That would be great because then it'll go through. Yep.
Next, there was. Thank you, Kathleen, for taking minutes during a very.
Yeah, it was pretty dense.
Pretty dense and confusing discussion. So I just suggested some changes, mostly to condense it. So I I deleted the offered apologies, changed review to form, changed form from application,
Okay.
and then condensed a sentence in which both Haydenfeld and Podmore said that the commission's original intent in the land use clearance ordinance was to not exempt a single residential dwelling from a land use clearance requirement. Just trying to make that more condensed.
Wait a minute. Wait. Let's read that again. The Haydenfeld and Podmore said that the commission's original intent in the land use clearance ordinance was to not exempt a single is to exempt it.
Was to exempt.
Yeah. The whole point was you can do a single family house that meets all the requirements without doing the whole site plan. The whole, okay.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Was to not exempt a single.
Take out the not.
Was to exempt.
Was it for a land use requirement or was it for a site plan?
A site plan.
Oh, from a site plan. You're right. From a
site plan. The point is that
Yeah.
They come in, they're going to build a single family unit, so they just have to bring us the site plan saying that it works on the land and that it meets the normal requirements. But they don't need to do an entire site plan of
Right.
other things. So I think we've got it.
Okay. Then I changed it to Dobson motion to approve the land use clearance request. And then I simplified this sentence because it was just a little confusing. I said Hayden felt seconded in motion that the application seemed to meet all the requirements.
Okay.
Mentioned that it meets the requirement. Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
And then updated one other final sentence. Again, coming back to that point of our intention around developing that land use clearance ordinance, I said Podmore reiterated that the original intent, maybe we should fix the sentence, but
Just
get rid of reiterate or
right. Just say
Perfect.
Podmore agreed that the result of the discussion,
Yeah.
yes,
yeah,
when developing was to remove a site plan requirement. Right. Good.
that's good. So is everybody good with all those changes?
Thank you,
Yeah.
Amanda. When I read it, I got circled around, so I sort of stepped back from it. I'm glad you were able to condense.
Okay. Yep. Whew.
Oh, no, thanks, Kathleen.
Yeah, no, I was like, stop talking, you guys. This is a lot. No, you guys did a very thorough job.
Okay. I'll go back and accept all those, and then no other comments. Anybody have any final comments on the minutes from November 16th?
I move to approve the minutes from November 16th as cleaned up and amended this evening.
Second.
Okay, any discussion?
No, looks good to me.
During this discussion, I will, we're going to welcome Malia next, but Malia, I'll let you know that in the approval of meeting minutes, as a commissioner, you are now able to vote yay or nay or abstain when approving minutes. And what we tend to do is if we missed a meeting, we tend to abstain from approving the minutes, but you are allowed to approve many meeting minutes even if you were not in attendance. So just to let you know.
Cool. Sounds good. Thanks.
So,
And one of the reasons for that is everybody can go online and either listen to the transcript, and then essentially you've been there.
And Malia was
Perfect.
actually at our last meeting, just unofficially listening. So
yeah.
it'll be up to her to decide if she's stepping up tonight.
All right, so I'll call the vote. All in favor of approving the meeting minutes as amended for November 16th, 2022, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstain? Ed, I didn't hear from you.
I think I said aye, but I think I said it right over somebody else, and they overrode me. So aye.
Great. All right, we have 4 ayes. The motion passes unanimously. Thanks, everybody. Okay, going back to our agenda, we have opportunity for public citizens to be heard. So if anybody would like to share a public comment, you have up to 3 minutes. And I could recognize you either by, you could raise your hand or say something or put your name in the chat. Okay. All right, we will close the opportunity for public comment at this meeting. Thank you, everybody. Next, we'll go into old business. Item 1 on the agenda is an update from Town Council. So Erin, we'd love to hear from you, please.
Yeah, so the Town Council has met twice since your last meeting. The first meeting was on December 1st, and that was the public hearing regarding the petition to disconnect Judy Lyman's property on the northeast side of town. We had 15 in-person attendees and about 20-ish online attendees throughout the evening. There were quite a few public comments. That transcript is available, or I shouldn't say the transcript, the audio recording is available, and the written public comments that were received prior to that meeting ending are available on the website. The next steps, the town council has 45 days in order before they'll need to vote on this. And so they have not decided yet when it'll go to the regular public meeting, but they do have 45 days. So that would be January 15th that they would need to vote by. And then, depending on their decision, some additional things take place. But we certainly appreciated the good public turnout. The town is going over strategic planning right now. We received 97 responses to the survey, which was incredible and very much appreciated. The consultants are pulling together that information, as well as speaking to some folks who were identified as key stakeholders in the community that will be giving a formal interview. And so they're going to compile all that information, and then we'll come back together in January, and there might be some workshops and things like that. Look for more information on that in late January. We're starting to discuss putting together a small committee for the 2023 solar eclipse that's taking place on October 14th. And so, just as a board, I think we'll probably create an ad hoc committee. So if anyone's interested or know people who are interested, probably the town's position will be more in terms of like safety, as opposed to, hosting big events or things like that. We certainly hope there might be an educational event, but realistically, we expect a huge number of people to turn out. And so we'll be looking for help in putting together all the operational plans to ensure that residents and visitors are safe and are able to enjoy the event. I did share the recommendation from your previous meeting regarding the single family, and then also, the intent behind the site plan application or site plan review, excuse me. So I see it down further on the agenda. I'll just go ahead and say we haven't heard anything back from the lawyer yet. But with that being said, the council would ask that as you are, I'm sure it'll come up again, hopefully not too soon. But as you're going through the ordinances, earmark this one so we could roll it into a public hearing with some of the other ordinances if we needed, if your formal recommendation is to change some of the language to make it more clear regarding that piece. So just, shared with them that you approve that land use clearance. They can go back and listen to the meeting, but they said if it is a formal change, if you think it needs to be changed for clarity's sake, do go ahead and submit that with the ordinance updates as you see fit. Questions that I can answer? Or if Luann had any other additions. I know she's not feeling super well, but hopefully I didn't leave out anything big.
Okay. Thank you so much, Erin. Really appreciate that, and appreciate the update on the site plan application form. So next on the agenda, item 2 is update on new planning and zoning emails. Erin, I'll let you take that as well.
Bad news there too. So I have not heard anything from our IT service provider. They were digging into some things with our domain. So I don't have anything yet. I have coordinated with Malia directly regarding hers. And what I would advise you all to do is not create a private account for her right now with the planning and zoning name in there. But I definitely, my goal is that, this would be complete before the end of December. So hopefully you're just going through, maybe the next week or two with your old emails, and then we'll get them all rolled over. So I apologize for the lack of information, but it is still coming.
Great, thank you. Any questions for Erin on that? Okay. Then next, Erin, a reminder of the training that all the commissioners need to do. Do you want to add anything about that?
Nope, just if anyone didn't receive the email, I sent out an email on November 17th with a link to the Open and Public Meeting Act training that we need everyone to do annually. And so I just ask that when you get that done before January 30th, that you send me your certificate so I can log it appropriately.
You
Yes,
got mine. You got mine.
Oh,
You
let me.
never acknowledged that you got mine, and it came that day. I did it the day you sent it.
Oh gosh. Okay. Let me go look, and I will let you know by the end of the meeting.
Okay, I've got it copied into my. I've got my certificate copied into my computer and can send it to you, but since it takes about 7 minutes or something, and I sent it right back to you.
I will look and I will update you. I am so sorry about that.
No, that's fine. Usually you're pretty good about saying, and I didn't even
No.
think about it till I saw this on the agenda, and I thought she never said I got it.
I'll take a look.
Okay,
Perfect.
that's fine.
Thanks.
Yep.
And Malia, I can forward you that email if you don't have that already.
I was included, so I think I have it. Thank you.
Alrighty, great. Okay. And then site plan application item 4, we've already discussed that. So I'll move on to the new business portion of our agenda. So finally, welcome to Malia Collins. Sorry, I put it under new business as opposed to old business, but we're so happy to have Malia joining Planning and Zoning Commission. Today starts her 4-year term as a commissioner. Anything you want to say, Malia, or anybody else?
Welcome.
Excited to be
Oh,
here. Thanks for letting me join and approving me and swearing me in yesterday. And let's get this party started.
Great. And I will note, for those listening, we still have 1 vacancy on the Planning and Zoning Commission and are accepting interested applicants. So please consider joining our commission that meets twice a month. Thanks, everybody. Item 6 on the agenda is land use clearances. We did not have any complete land use clearance applications to review this evening. So unless there's any questions, I'll go ahead and move on to the next item. Okay. All right. So first, item 7 is Yes Tomorrow's 2023 programming, a presentation by Adrian Caesar. Adrian, do you want to go ahead?
Yeah, thank you so much. Thanks for having me at the Planning and Zoning Commission. You may have already received my email through the town distribution list. We are hosting a virtual event tomorrow night at 6 p.m. Mountain Time to talk about opportunities to work on building projects with Yes Tomorrow. Is it okay if I share my screen?
Go ahead.
Okay. So here we go. You should have already received this, and I'm just gonna, I think I've met everyone here, but I'm just gonna do a little introduction. My name is Adrian Caesar. I'm the Bluff site coordinator for Yes Tomorrow Design Build School. Yes Tomorrow has been offering courses, building courses since 1980 in Vermont, and this is our 2nd year of offering programming in Bluff. Our mission is to create a more sustainable world through hands-on education. And building projects at full scale is really an integral part of that learning experience. And so these are some of the upcoming projects that we have. So these all coordinate with a specific class. For example,
Adrian, could you zoom in a bit?
Yeah, sure. Here, let me. So is that good? And I can scroll down.
Is that better for folks? Yeah.
Okay.
Just zoom in just a little bit more.
There we go. I think I'm at my max. Okay, so here are some of the projects that we have, classes and projects that are upcoming. So we have a carpentry fundamentals class. The outcome of that class is usually a picnic table, and we have an approximate cost here. We will also be doing a decorative plaster class. And then we are offering a timber framing class again. You may have seen the project that we installed at the community garden. Here is the frame finished with the 2 instructors that taught the class. We are also offering a basic carpentry class again. This could look like a 8x12 garden shed, but last year we actually completed a tiny house for the Hiroko and Atsushi Yamamoto. So this is where we finished completion. So it's a 5-day class, and typically the enclosure is complete, but finishes are not complete. And that's something that the owner would have to finish after the class. There's a few other classes here, and I think it's a really great way for students to have a learning experience, but also homeowners to get a really high quality building product below market rate. So that's all I have to present. I'm going to keep it short. We have the presentation tomorrow at 6 p.m. Mountain Time, and I'll share that. There is a registration required. I'm sharing that information in the chat. Actually, you know what? Maybe I can't share it in the chat.
Oh, it looks like the link came through.
Yeah. Okay. It did come through the link. Okay.
Oh wait, no, just your email.
Here. Let me see. So that's it.
You said that was virtual, Adrian?
Yep. It's on Zoom tomorrow at 6 p.m.
Any questions for Adrian?
And I guess the only thing I would add is that I have reached out to some community organizations and nonprofits specifically about a particular public interest class. And so this is more geared towards homeowners, private projects, and I'm also doing some collaboration with local nonprofits.
I have a couple of questions. One, a couple of community members and myself, Herbert Stash, I don't know if most of you are familiar with him, but he started a warm elders program. We helped him to purchase 3 semi-load of wood, lumber from Dolores, Colorado. And so this will be a great project for individuals working in that group there to store a lot of the wood away from the elements and stuff. And so I'm just wondering if that would extend to anybody from across the river.
Yeah, totally. So I have your information. I would love to follow up with you about that project, because I think one of these, either the garden shed or a timber frame structure, would be a great thing to store wood, protect wood.
Awesome. I think I have a meeting with you Wednesday.
Yes,
Okay.
we do. Yes, we can talk about it then.
Great. Anybody else have any questions? All right. Thank you so much for being here and providing this educational resource for the community. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
All right. Next, item 8 on the agenda is introduction to the Bluff Community Active Transportation Plan by Molly Schmidt. So Molly, I'll turn it over to you.
Awesome. Thank you. Hi, everyone. Is it okay to present?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. So some of this was adapted from a presentation that I gave to the council. So I'll try to only hit on relevant things. So the Active Transportation Plan initiative was born out of a group called the Citizens Institute on Rural Design. This was a leadership initiative of the National Endowment of the Arts. And it focuses on communities with populations of less than 50,000. And it helps communities develop a project for their town. And this is a learning cohort. So we met every month for 2 years to develop a project. And we participated in a series of online peer engagement activities and interactive learning sessions. And the project that we applied for to be a part of this cohort was to revitalize a section of Route 191 that runs through Bluff as walkable, cultural, and economically viable Main Street. And then what kind of came from this design challenge was a community project that is a non-motorized, safe bicycle and pedestrian route through Bluff that connects the Bluff River Trail, elementary school, businesses, and historic assets of Bluff. And we've we presented a quick pitch at the end of our cohort session that kind of explained the culmination of our project and the developments until then. And out of this project, we decided that we need to become more formalized organization under the town of Bluff in order to actually take action on our ideas and implement them to create a trail system through Bluff. So on August 9th, the Bluff Town Council agreed to create the Safe Routes Committee, which is now named the Active Transportation Advisory Committee. And our role is to explore planning grants, create an active transportation plan, safe streets, and to connect our communities. And we serve as an advisory board to the town council, and then we make recommendations to the town council to vote on. Our mission is to lead a community-driven process, creating and sustaining connectivity and active travel for safety, health, and recreation. Right now, the members are Luann Hook, Jim Sayers, myself, Deborah Westfall, and Anthony Lott. And we are partnering with Bike Utah. They're an organization created by the state of Utah to implement non-motorized trail systems and help communities develop more bicycling and walking paths throughout Utah. And we're going to partner with them to create a series of community planning workshops, which they will lead and we will help facilitate, to develop an active transportation plan. So an active transportation plan, also known as bicycle and pedestrian master plans, are guiding documents adopted by different government entities, and it lays the foundation for what types of walking bicycle infrastructure will be built, where it will be built, and how it will be built. So basically, you can't create and get funding for anything unless you have a plan. And if you want something to be included in the plan, you got to make the plan. So after the town council voted to approve a partnership with Bike Utah to develop an active transportation plan, Bike Utah will host community workshops in early spring. We're hoping for end of February. Use the completed active transportation plan to apply for possible construction grant in the fall of 2023. So just to put that in maybe a little more straightforward English, is that we're developing the workshops and outreach to the community right now, and then we'll be hosting the community design workshop hopefully in February. From that information collected from the town and through the workshop, we will create a active transportation plan. With that plan, we can then use that to go out and apply for grants that will fund the construction and development of the trail itself. We're hosting community workshops because we believe that the town itself should design the map, and they should get a chance to figure out have a say in what gets built and where. Encouraging people to tell us things like where they want to see protected walk, if they want a more defined main street. We want to say for kids to get to school, better signage, shade structures. So we need a place to collect all this feedback and put it into the plan so that it actually gets built. And just to kind of give you an overview of the org chart here, committee to Town of Bluff. So everything that we do, all the communication we have between the Citizen Institute on Rural Design, Bike Utah, and all of the stakeholders, we kind of gather and disseminate all that information and then present it to the Town of Bluff for approval. So let's see. Approved, we have a page on the Town of Bluff website. We've started doing outreach to different organizations, including Navajo Yes. This is part of that outreach, is talking to you all. And we're doing presentations to different groups who might want to be interested. For example, Utah Navajo Health, in partnering with us for the project. We're also hoping to host the work elementary school so that we can make it easier for more families to engage with this project. And then we're getting a lot of support for this project because Governor Cox made a statewide announcement that he wants Utah to develop like X number amount of trails and a statewide trail system. So there is a lot of support right now at all levels of government for a project like this. And that's all I have to present, but I wanted to make sure that you all were involved and knew what was happening, because eventually I think we'll get to a point where we'll have a map, and I don't know how that integrates with there might be some questions about where things get built and how, and I can just kind of see some things down the pipeline and conversations that we might have to have here to get approvals. And let me share really quickly. I have a map of, so far this is just a initial route that we mapped. It's not official. It's totally draft. It's just a way for us to start engaging with people in a conversation about where a bike path and trail might be. And so we really envision this. The town of Bluff wants to focus only on the town of Bluff. But one advantage of working with Bike Utah is that really, in my mind, the goal is more of a regionally connected trail system. So you'll see these blue lines as us really wanting to connect with White Mesa up to Blanning and Montezuma Creek and Mexican Hat and Monument Valley and White Rocks, because I think Bluff can kind of be this hub and a connector for all of these different communities. So in my mind, that would be the long-term vision. And I think the short-term vision right now, we're kind of focusing on what's in red and green right here. Are there any questions?
Any questions from anybody?
Just one. Does such like ideas that communities, they have anything in mind as far as trail rides or anything up and coming that would tie all of this in?
Sorry, Tara, could you repeat the question?
Oh, I was just wondering if the community of White Rock had anything planned as far as tying in this trail with that community going forward.
Yeah, so that's part of our outreach right now is inviting folks from White Rock to come to the community workshop and connecting with them to see if they want to be eventually part of this project. Part of the problem is just defining, or the opportunity is defining the boundaries of this first phase, and then trying to include keep in mind and include the possibility for a larger phase. So I would love help connecting with some Montezuma community in Montezuma Creek and White Rock and up on the way to Blanding, because I don't have great contact information from anyone from those communities yet. So if you could help me figure out who to connect with, I would love to share this project with them and see what their interest is. We are presenting to the Navajo Yes Board tomorrow afternoon because they have some extensive resources for creating trail systems. And also, I don't know what I don't know, and I'm looking for input how to make this as culturally sensitive and integrative as possible. And so, how do we avoid burial sites, and how do we include signage that respects the natural landscape and the key points of the land, is telling a narrative that is appropriate. And we're definitely going to need guidance around those things as the project moves forward.
Any final questions or comments from Molly?
Looks super exciting. Thanks for all your hard work.
Yeah, I want to just let you know, like, on behalf of the commission, this is so exciting because we've been talking about the need for this sort of planning since we were finished with the general plan. So it's really amazing that you all are taking this on and putting so much effort into it. And I think we all look forward to participating in the workshops next year.
Cool. And I'll say that when we started, Adrian was a part of the Citizens Institute on Rural Design cohort with Debbie and myself and Luann, and we used your general plan to like apply for the grant and to become part of the cohort. And we've been using that as a guiding document and setting priorities with like Bike Utah and developing the committee. So we are also like very much building off of the work that you are all put into it already.
If I could just add for 1 second, the idea that I'm pleased that the town has picked up on it in terms of making it an official committee, because I've been here for 26 years, and sidewalk / trail through town has been said once a day for 26 years by someone. And to finally have an active process for it might be really nice. So now when I hear the words, I'll know that there's actually someone doing something. And thank you for that.
Sure. We meet, we're meeting weekly right now, if anyone's interested in popping in one time. And then also I could see eventually there needing to come a 501(c) out of this effort, to have some kind of group that is like a friends of, or maintenance keepers or keeper of the trails, because there's only so much the town will be able to do. And as far as like accepting donations to be able to do programming and all of that stuff, I think this is just like one phase of a couple that this project has to go through.
Great.
Cool. Well, yeah, I'm here if you have questions, and I'm excited to announce the workshop soon.
Awesome. All
Okay.
right. Thanks, you.
Bye, everyone.
Bye there. Alrighty. So item 9 on our agenda was a duplication. So we'll skip that. It was the training for all commissioners. So item 10 is our meeting schedule for 2023. So I would open it up to the commissioners, what you all think would be ideal for you going forward in 2023. It is time for us to post in Sam on record our schedule for the upcoming year. So that's the urgency behind our decision tonight, I guess. But as you all know, currently we meet the first and third Wednesday of the month at 6 p.m. and we skip any Wednesday if a federal holiday falls in that week. So we could discuss different nights, different times. I think the one thing I will say that at the outset is I strongly feel we should stick to 2 meetings a month because of the need to address land use clearance concerns as those come up. So with that, I open the floor to any comments or concerns.
It's been working really well. And perhaps we keep going with the caveat that, Malia, do you feel like you get home at 6 on Wednesdays? Does that, in other words, someone new, did you have anything you can't do?
So I normally get off of work at 6, but I can definitely just start leaving at 5 on those days. I did that today and it was no problem. And if the schedule is already set, I can go ahead and put a block in my schedule and it's no problem. I don't mind doing that. It's nice to have a little bit of a shorter day. My only question is July 5th is a Wednesday. And so that might be a time that people are traveling or something.
We wouldn't have a meeting that week.
Because so any week like that where there's a federal holiday, we skip the meeting altogether.
Oh, skip the meeting that week altogether.
Yeah, that week.
Okay. And so that week, would we have it, or that month, would we have it the 12th and the 19th, just the second and the third week? Or just one meeting a month? Okay. Yeah, that sounds great to me.
Okay. Ed, how does the current schedule work for you? Oh, Ed, are you there?
I'm on mute.
Okay. How
We're
does
good.
good? Okay.
Yep.
So I will suggest we go forward with the same meeting schedule for next year. I will go ahead and work on a. Well, Aaron, do I want me to take the lead on the San Juan record posting, or is that
You know,
something?
I can definitely help you with that, Amanda. I recognize that you have a lot going on. How about I draft those dates, send them to the commission. You guys check to make sure that I'm not missing anything crazy. And then I can officially send it in once if you guys can just reply to me individually. You don't need to reply as a commission. Reply to me individually if you see anything odd. Otherwise, I'll give you a date and then I'll send it in on that date.
Great. Thank you so much, Aaron. It's a really big help.
Of course.
Okay. Let's discuss items for next meeting's agenda. So our next meeting is scheduled for Wednesday, December 21st at 6 p.m., which happens to be right at solstice. So I first want to check in and see folks' availability. I can attend the meeting, but I can't chair it. I will be in the airport. So I was hoping if somebody else could chair the meeting.
Well, if you can't be there to chair and we don't have anything pressing that can't wait, perhaps we can cancel a meeting 2 weeks in advance. And if we could put out that we're not having the last meeting due to, holiday schedules basically, and say our first meeting back is January, whatever that will be, and January 4th. And I only recommend that because what we're saying is that people need to be able to come and go at that time frame in the real world. That's all.
Aaron, go ahead.
Sorry to jump in. With the New Year holiday that week, would you have a meeting on the 4th?
I think if we skip to the 21st, we should still have a meeting that week.
New Year's Day is Sunday, not Monday, so I don't feel like it affects the work week schedule.
Okay.
I'm imagining even the kids have to be back to school on the 4th, although I can't say that positively, but it just feels to me like we're pushing along something that I know we have one land use clearance request that's pending, but if we let that person understand that the dates have changed, then it didn't feel like a pressing request. Let's just put it that way. I don't know that, but and if that's true, Amanda doesn't have to call us from the airport, and we can. But that's just my suggestion.
Malia and Ed, are you good with potentially canceling the 21st?
Yes.
I'm comfortable with that.
Okay, great. So I will move forward with that and let our pending land use clearance person know. If there is a need for a short meeting for a land use clearance, I will let you all know. So if we meet, next time we meet, let's still think through our agenda. I would like us to discuss and take a vote on officers for planning and zoning, or chair, vice chair, etc. So that'll be one thing on the agenda. What else would folks like to see on the agenda?
Perhaps an updated list of where we've gotten lost in our paperwork. I feel like, we wrote site plan, then we wrote LUC correction, and then we wrote, so perhaps putting together a list over your homework would be to put together a little list of things we've talked about, and we could all compare it on that night to get a working list of what we need to do.
List of pending priorities and projects.
Right. And we'd have to have a goal session, obviously, in one of these first few meetings. So maybe the January 4th meeting could be, let's make a list of what our goal session will be. Some sort of, because I frankly, I'm a little lost on which site plan thing we're working on. So.
Good. Any other requests for that agenda?
I know that on last agenda, I saw the RV ordinance was something we were pushing to January. So if that is going to January, maybe put that on that next.
Okay. I'll do like maybe update and next steps on RV.
Right, exactly. That'd be perfect. Good remembering, Malia.
Thanks.
How come you remember and you weren't even here?
I read it.
Oh, you were supposed to, I was supposed to read it. Sorry.
Right, yeah, that's so crazy.
Wonderful. Okay. Any other ideas for that agenda?
I'm sure we'll think of them as we're sitting there putting together these lists. So I think it'll be good.
Yeah. Please email me with ideas for the public. If you email us by Friday, 5 p.m., the week preceding our meeting, we can get you on our agenda. We have an agenda request form on our website. So with that, move on to other on the agenda. Any other items from folks? No?
Move to adjourn.
I'll second it.
Okay. Any discussion? All right. All in favor of adjourning the meeting, say aye.
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 Aye. All right. Meeting is officially adjourned at 6:47 p.m. Thank you so much, everybody. And thanks again, Malia, for joining us.
Thank
And
y'all.
happy holidays, everybody.
Happy holidays.
Yeah, if we won't see each other officially, then just in case, happy holidays.
Right? See you next year officially.
Yeah.
And I won't talk to you until then.
Yes, ma'am.